2-for-1 Jack, splat, just like that. Bringing you tons of information, that's where he's at. He goes around town covering topics you'd like to know. Well, that's what you get when you tune in to the 2-for-1 Jack Show.
Oh, don't say there's still one DJ.
All right, what's up, everybody? Thank you so much to everybody that is here today, especially in this rain. Y'all are some real ones. It has been 333 days since this. It is an injustice to our community in that these killer cops that took Elijah's life are still allowed to patrol our streets, and they are allowed to have their badges and their guns and their squad cars and can pull over any of your kids, and we have no reason to believe that they would survive that encounter. That this city has allowed this, that they do not consider murdering an innocent young black man a crime or even a fireable offense is unacceptable, and we are here to say we will not accept it anymore. I want to welcome up our first speaker here, my comrade Joel with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Let's give him a round of applause, everybody.
John Bang.
Power to the people.
Power to the people.
Y'all. I'm sorry, did someone just whisper in my ear? Power to the people!
Power to the people.
Power to the people!
Power to the people.
Power to the people!
Power to the people.
There we go. You ain't gonna let a little rain dampen our energy, right? So some of y'all used to be speaking off the dome, but I got some shit I gotta share with y'all, so I'm gonna be reading some stuff. So, 333 days since Elijah was murdered. That's 11 months, okay? And in these 11 months, the institutions of Aurora that claim to protect and serve, they've done absolutely everything in their power to prevent justice from coming to the killers. It was not just 3 bad cops. It wasn't even just a bad department. I want to share with you some of the ways that the entire machinery of this city of Aurora worked against justice for our community. So, first, not just 3, but numerous Aurora police officers were present on the scene and watched while Elijah was tortured and injected with the lethal dose of ketamine. They stood idly by as Aurora police officers Nathan Woodyard, Randy Rodema, and Jason Rosenblatt tortured Elijah. Remember those names. Don't say them, but remember them. They threatened to sick police dogs on him, and they called Aurora Fire and Rescue to sedate him despite the fact that he had committed no crime and was completely restrained. APD and Aurora Fire and Rescue refused to fire the murderers from their forces or even remove them from operating on our streets. 3. APD classified Elijah as a suspect in the case and refuses to change that classification. This bars the McClain family from being eligible for basic forms of financial remittances, including such things as funeral costs. 4. The Aurora Coroner's Office allowed APD officers and officials from the DA's office to be present for the autopsy of Elijah's body. Aurora Coroner Stephen Sina went far out of his way to list numerous potential causes of death, even though it was clear that Elijah would have made it home alive that night had it not been for the intervention of APD and AFR. The report determined the cause of death inconclusive, aiding the district attorney in clearing the killers of all charges. 5. Adams County District Attorney Dave Young
Fuck Dave Young.
Thank you. Refused to file charges against any of Elijah's killers. 6, Mike Kaufman. Now mayor of Aurora, and, fun fact, also presided over the cover-up of the Haditha massacre in Iraq in 2007, by the way. Notice the parallel. He ran amid the controversy over Elijah's murder. He ran promising that getting justice in Elijah's case would be his first priority as mayor of Aurora. He promised to reach out to the McClain family upon election. When he was in fact elected, he did not reach out to the McClains or take steps to get justice. He instead hired a sham independent investigator who was a former cop, who, as his profession, clears cops of guilt. 7, 6 Aurora City Council members: Charlie Richardson, Dave Gruber, Johnny Watson, Francois Bergen, that's a racist ass name, Marsha Berzins, and Bob Roth wore thin blue line t-shirts to a city council meeting amid public outcry and protest over Elijah McClain's death, signifying their allegiance to the murderous Aurora Police Department. One thing about your little Blue Lives Matter flag thing, I look at that shit and I see a Confederate flag, I look at that shit and I see a swastika. Don't get it twisted. 3 other officers on the Aurora Police Force, Erica Marrero, Kyle Dittrich, and Jaron Jones, took photos mocking Elijah McClain's murder at the site of his death and circulated them among the department. APD allowed this and took no steps to penalize the sick pigs until it was leaked to the media 8 months later. Only once the photos were leaked were Dittrich and Marrero fired, as well as Jason Rosenblatt, one of Elijah's murderers, who received the photos and laughed at the photos. Jaron Jones was allowed to resign before being fired. 8. The Fraternal Order of Police, the police union, is appealing to have Dittrich, Marrero, and Rosenblatt reinstated, and is the strongest force pressuring interim APD Chief Vanessa Wilson not to fire the other 2 killers of Elijah McClain that remain on the Aurora Police Force. 9. Interim Chief Vanessa Wilson presided over the intimidation and brutal repression of protesters demanding justice for Elijah and lied about the justification for such brutality. She refuses to jeopardize her own position by firing Nathan Woodyard and Randy Rodima, the 2 killers of Elijah who still remain on APD's police force. So, what the past almost year, 11 months, has shown us is that there will be no justice and no safety for our community unless we, the people, fight for it ourselves. And that is what this community is doing. For the past 11 months, a small core of activists and community members have been tirelessly fighting for Elijah. And 1 month ago, the sudden surge of thousands of more people turning out has changed the game. Y'all have changed the game. We marched thousands strong and took over the I-225 highway. Violinists endured the violent repression of APD, but stood strong and played on through the clouds of pepper spray and tear gas. Then, y'all tricked APD by calling a march to the municipal center, where they gathered hundreds of riot troops and reinforcement and layers of barricades, but we marched to their precinct 1, where they were caught off guard completely. We maintained the line, holding the officers inside until the early hours of the morning. We had the chief pleading for a phone call at 11:30 p.m. We had the mayor frantically driving from his home to okay the order for violent repression. Then they decided to send in SWAT tanks and riot cops and Bearcats and all their new toys to force people out, but it was only momentarily. Today we are here to keep the pressure on. So, fun fact, all of this action in the last month or so has had a severe impact on the APD, but don't take my word for it. Take the police union president, Mark Sears, who told the Denver Post that they were suffering from a deep crisis of morale and experiencing unprecedented numbers of officers resigning or retiring. That's wrong. That's wrong. Where was I? Okay. Oh, another thing he said in that interview with the Denver Post, he's trying to like make the other Aurora police officers, you know, he's trying to comfort them a little bit. He insisted that the protesters, all right. He insisted that the protests represent only a small group that happens to have a large audience, and the majority of the community does in fact trust and support the police. So, we're out here today right in front of Aurora Police Headquarters to clear up that misconception right the fuck now. So, earlier this week, we took a poll on Facebook. How many of y'all did that poll that we put out? Okay, word. There were 7.1 thousand responses. Of those 7.1 thousand responses, 7,000 said no. They do not support the Aurora Police Department. Out of the people who said yes, 168. There are more Jehovah's Witnesses traveling in neighborhoods on a Sunday, going door to door, than there are people that support the Aurora Police Department, according to our poll. See, the thing is, we know that what happened to Elijah, it was not a fluke, it was not a slip up, it was not an accident. This is how the APD operates. So I want to do an exercise with y'all real quick. I'm going to ask some questions, and if the answer is yes, put your hand up and keep it up. If you have ever been brutalized by APD, put your hand up. Okay. Put your hand down. If the APD has, oh wait, actually no, sorry. If you've ever been brutalized, keep your hand up real quick. Put your hand up, keep your hand up. Okay. If someone close to you has been brutalized by APD, put your hands up. If you feel fear or anxiety and not relief when you see an APD squad car, put your hand up. Media, are you getting this? Look at this. If you would feel safer here tonight without APD, put your hands up. I don't see anybody with their hands down. I'll give y'all a second, media. Take a look. 7,000 people said no, 168 said yes. So with that said, we are glad that you are here. Make some noise for yourselves. I'm going to pass it back to my comrade Jordan.
This community is staying in the streets for justice because we know that to allow APD to continue unchecked is to sit back and allow killers to run armed patrols of our community. Mark Sears, APD, you need to get it straight. We are not confused, we are not divided, we do not trust APD. We do not like APD and we do not want APD. And we will keep fighting because the safety of our community depends on it. Today we are going to have speakers who are going to speak about their experiences with APD. Our point is that we must be completely clear-eyed about what it means to get justice for Elijah. It means getting Randy Rodema and Nathan Woodyard fired from APD's force and making sure that Jason Rosenblatt stays fired. It means murder charges for all 3 killer cops and the 2 paramedics that aided them. It means restitution for the McClain family. But perhaps most of all, it means seeing who APD is and never forgetting it. Justice for Elijah means refusing to allow this to continue in our community. It means committing ourselves to the fight to get APD defunded, disarmed, and taken off of our streets. It also means tearing down the entire racist system that sees black men as a threat and treats their lives as disposable. now our first speaker will be Sharif with Aurora Cop Watch.
Sharif! Okay, I tried this last time and it got interrupted, but I'm gonna do it again. Say, get up, stand up.
Get up, stand up.
Stand up for your rights. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up. Get up, stand up. Stand up for your rights. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Get up, stand up. Never give up the fight. Never give up the fight. Right on, family. Even though we standing out here in the rain, we out here for Elijah McClain. We out here for all victims of police brutality, all victims of police misconduct. Right on? Say power to the people. Power to the people. Say power to the people. Power to the people. Say power to the people. Power to the people. Right on. Now, I started Aurora Cop Watch. I didn't start it, the community started it. You know, we had a cop watch over in Denver. We had a cop watch in West Denver. We had a cop watch in Commerce City. So I said, you know something, we need a cop watch in Aurora. Yeah. Because I've been living in Aurora since 1981. And even back then, I remember when you couldn't be black and be walking up and down Sable or Alameda without the funky ass racist fucking police pulling you over and harassing you. I remember being about 16 or 17 years old, and I was going out to a party, man, and I was dressed up. I had on my suit. I thought I was clean. You know what I'm saying? I was driving up Sable right here on Alameda, man, and 6 police cars pulled me over. Gave me instructions to throw the keys out the window, put my hands out the window, open the door, get out the car, put your hands in the air, get on your knees, all of these commandments that they gave me. And if I would have disobeyed one of them, I would have been like Elijah McClain when I was 16 years old. They put me on the ground, face on the ground, in a suit, and told me, don't move, I'ma blow your fucking head off. And once they realized I wasn't the suspect they was looking for, the police told me to get up, told me, no hard feelings, pal. We sorry we stopped you, but you fit the description. I said, when is there a motherfucker running around here robbing people in a goddamn 3-piece suit? When does that happen? But I was black. And I was in Aurora at a time in the late 80s, man, when there wasn't a lot of black people out here. Matter of fact, this building, that building wasn't even here back then. When I came to Aurora, man, they built all of these buildings off the backs of black and brown people who they pulled over and they fined, and they're still doing it today. When this funky ass courthouse opens back up, you can go in there any day of the week and see the majority of black and brown people standing in line to pay these fucking tickets. I remember 15 years ago, was a black man who lived up the street on Tower Road that told the police here, man, when we had a community meeting, that he got stopped damn near every night coming home from work from the airport and stopped by the police, harassed. Why? Because he was black. And now we putting a stop to that, man, because this is the biggest movement that Aurora has seen, Denver has seen, goddammit, the whole United States has ever seen. And they scared to death. They so scared Trump he done put a special Gestapo force together to go round up protesters and people who don't agree with their bullshit. They're like Gestapos. They don't wear any name tags. They jumping out of rented vans and just snatching people off the street like they did in 1931 in Germany. Ain't that a bitch? And then these motherfuckers got the nerve to complain when we call them fascists. They are 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 fascists. And we're not gonna take this bullshit no more. Thank you, family.
All right, next we got Terrence with the Frontline Party for Revolutionary Action.
I disagree with the police. We are not a small group with a large crowd. We are the community with a large crowd. Give yourselves a round of applause. Because this is a revolution. You are the revolution. All right? If we don't get no justice, then they don't get no peace. Come on. If we don't get no justice, then they don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, then they don't get no peace. If we don't get no justice, then they don't get no peace. If we don't get it, shut it down. Come on, y'all, keep on with me. If we don't get it, shut it down. 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 Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Let me get it louder, y'all. Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Justice for Elijah is justice for all.
Justice for Elijah is justice for all.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Justice for Brianna is justice for all.
Justice for Brianna is justice for all.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Justice for blacks is justice for all.
Justice for blacks is justice for all.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Justice for Elijah is justice for all.
Justice for Elijah is justice for all.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Justice for women is justice for all.
Justice for women is justice for all.
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Which side are you on? Which side are you on?
Justice for George is justice for all.
Justice for George is justice for all.
It has been 11 months and one day, like my comrade said, since the Aurora police murdered and tortured and lied on Elijah McClain. They were going to stick their dogs on him. If you watch the video, he was clearly incapacitated after begging them not to murder him, telling him he had done nothing wrong, that he wouldn't kill a fly. They said on the video that he was reaching for a gun. But while they claimed he was reaching for a gun, one of the police had enough nerve to say, dude, cover your camera. The Aurora police is 8th in the nation for homicides, for brutal killings per capita. After Elijah McClain was killed, this is what they have done to us in the community. First, City Council wore Blue Lives Matter shirts, so what, I can breathe? Well, I can breathe, making fun of Elijah. Fuck that! We have had the Aurora police pretty much make fun of him with a carotid chokehold at the site of his homicide. Then Rosenblatt has the nerve to want to sue for his job back. Not only should Rosenblatt have been fired for murdering Elijah McClain before the picture was taken, but Rosenblatt should be on charges right now for first-degree murder, okay, for kidnapping, for assault, and for lying about evidence. He's a fucking liar, he's a piece of shit. We need Woodard fired. Okay, we need Rodema fired. We need them charged. We need Rosenblatt charged with murder. We need those EMTs, whoever the fuck you are, we're coming for you too. We haven't forgotten about your EMTs. Alright? We're coming for everything killing us. in killing us. But right now, we focus on these racist-ass police. Okay? 11 months and 1 day. It was the 24th of August last year. It is the 25th of July today. Nothing has happened. Nothing. They have done nothing but make fun of Elijah McClain. Do you see these people out here? Huh? Is this like a small group with just a large crowd? Huh? No. We're all tired of it. Okay? We're going to stand in solidarity with Portland. We're going to stand in solidarity with the wall of bombs. Okay? With ACAB. We're going to stand in solidarity with Black Lives Matter. We're going to stand in solidarity with SPRA. We're going to stand in solidarity with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Right? We're all going to stand in solidarity with the wall of badge, with the wall of veterans, with Louisville, Kentucky. Say her name. Say her name. We are going to stand in solidarity with every group that is fighting fascism. One love to Antifa. I'm fucking Antifa. I'm Antifa. Alright? So I guess I'm a fucking terrorist. Let our racist ass president tell it. Let me tell you why I'm up here. I ran an after-school program. It was one of the best in the nation. It was initially dealing with youth violence prevention. We were averaging over 80 homicides a year with youth violence murders in the Denver metro area. The police didn't like that we were getting kids together and we were stopping violence. So they told dangerous informants who were Bloods and Crips to murder me. They tried to murder me on one of my development properties. We were doing development. I had to defend my life. I was charged with attempted murder, with first-degree assault, and previous offender with a weapon. I was acquitted at trial because it's on camera. These men who tried to assault me were not only on camera assaulting me, but they have since admitted to working for District 2 with the Denver Police Department. Not only are they murdering us, but they are using dangerous informants, and they are putting them in white communities, telling white people to be racist. And these men who are white and racist, they are actually federal inmates and people who need to be locked the fuck up, but instead they're rapists and murderers, and then they're creating a race war. The police use Crips and Bloods to murder your children, to keep gang wars going. They murder our children like Elijah McClain. They make fun of us, and then they act like we're terrorists because we show up on this piece of shit ass grass. Nobody gives a fuck about your grass or ground. You're fighting for people's lives, and you can tear gas in this over some fucking grass. You see this fence they put up? You see those boards? Y'all see that fucking camera right there? We costing them money, and we are going to continue to agitate. We are going to continue to occupy space. We are going to continue to do whatever we have to do until we get justice for Elijah McClain, until we get justice for Nishadas Carter, who was killed in 2015 by Paul Jerome. Paul Jerome lied, said that Nishadas Carter looked like he had a weapon. He did not have a weapon. He was murdered. He did not have anything in his hands, okay? I'm going to talk about another victim in 1999, Ishmael Mena. See, even though this was in 1999, we're not forgetting about any of the victims of police brutality, okay? Because Ishmael Mena was only 45 years old, an informant for District 2, Denver Police, told the Denver Police he bought a $20 crack rock from Ishmael Mena's apartment. It was the wrong address. They kicked in Mr. Mena's door. They shot him 8 times in his face, in his neck, in his chest. They murdered Ishmael Mena. Then they lied and said you pulled a weapon on him after they had to admit that they kicked in the wrong door and falsified a police report. Is that not terrorism? Are we terrorists? Or are we fighting terrorism? Who's ready to walk today? Who's ready to walk today? Revolution? It is a revolution. God bless y'all. Let's get them up one time. Let's get them up, y'all, because Black Lives Matter. All power. All power to all the people. God bless y'all. I'm here in solidarity. Come talk to me. Come show me some love. I love all the groups out of here. If I miss calling you out, we got you in solidarity. Come introduce yourself. I'll call y'all next time. God bless. We taking the space today, y'all. Let's stay in solidarity, all right? I'm gonna introduce myself. I'm sorry, Jordan. I'm gonna introduce the dynamic Candace Bailey with the Frontline Party for Revolutionary Action. She is my co-founder. Y'all give this sister a round of applause. She just came back from Louisville, Kentucky, protesting for Breonna Taylor. She's tired. Y'all show her some love. Give her a shout out, or a shout out.
Aurora, Colorado, what y'all doing? I'm glad to be back home. So, a group of us went to Louisville. It came over us. We watched that there were protesters who were arrested illegally again. So we go out there. We said, we have to go. We have to support them. This is going to occur all over our country. They were getting tired in Louisville. So we show up. Let me tell y'all, we've been hoodwinked, y'all. So I get this fucking flyer. We meet the deputy mayor while we're in Louisville. They have done everything in Louisville that they have done here with Elijah McClain. They made a fake oversight committee. They have the attorney general involved.
It's in the book.
They have some fake investigation that ain't going nowhere. A whole list of bullshit. Bullshit that is not changing anything. When I was in Louisville, I understood something so clearly. It is not Louisville. It is not Aurora, Colorado. It is a condition and a culture that we live under that must be changed. And I don't mean change like your dirty underwear. I mean change like tear this bitch down. I mean change like you want your life to change. I mean change like you want a future for your children that does not include fear of the police. I talked to a bishop, and we talked about how in the 60s there was a lot of pruning of the tree. So there was something that happened in the 60s. There was a lot of kumbayaing. They took a lot of band-aids on the bullet wounds. Well, 2020, I don't want a fucking band-aid for your bullet wound. You've shot me so many fucking times. I'm still getting up, and I'm still coming. Now, I noticed this little gate that they put up. Y'all see this fucking gate they put up? How much did this shit cost? I want to know how much did this shit cost? You're not protecting us. You're not serving us. You're hiding from the truth. You aren't keeping us out. You're locking your lie in with you. It doesn't take a genius to know that you murdered Elijah McClain. Stevie Wonder could see the shit. Ray Charles. This is not a hidden secret. This is the condition of our country. We have sat around and listened to this, watched this, lived through this. We will now stand. We will no longer live through you murdering us. There were so many commonalities between the Breonna Taylor case and the Elijah McClain case. Breonna Taylor laid in her own home for more than 5 minutes, fighting for her life, with 6 bullets in her body, as her significant other laid next to her and screamed and prayed that they would come in and help her. They never came in and helped her. They let her die in her own home. They murdered her. And then they made a law in her name after the fact called the Breonna Taylor Act that doesn't allow a no-knock warrant. Now, fuck you. How dare you? How dare you? How dare you make a law name the Elijah McClain Act, but fuck naming it anything. How about this? How about you charge these officers? If I commit murder, I know I'm going somewhere. And I'm going to make sure it's worth it. So, you better know you have been on notice, APD. Time is up. 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 Say his name. Say his name. No justice. No justice. No racist. Yo, we got some work to do. They might put up a fence. That fence don't mean shit. It doesn't mean we're not showing up. That fence, you just held yourself inside the house. Eventually it's gonna burn down with your ass in it. Now let's go take this motherfucker over again.
Hey, let's give one more hand for Candace real quick. I also want to shout out the Wall of Moms for being here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much to our speakers for sharing. This is the pain that the police inflict on our community. This is what it looks like to maintain a crushing, racist system by force. To stalk, intimidate, and keep black people down. We must remember this is the true nature of the police. It cannot be reformed, it cannot be softened. We want no part of it, and we intend to overthrow the whole thing. I just want us to remember why we're here. We're here because they killed Elijah McClain. We're here because they do not have justice yet. His family does not have justice yet. And they are making a mockery of it at this point. So we are here because we are still fighting for that. And we will not stop fighting until we get that. So now we're going to march. And I'm going to ask you guys to please stay behind the banner, this banner, and to keep the march tight. We need to keep it together for our safety, and please keep your ears open for the direction to stop. When we will record a message in solidarity with our compatriots in Portland who are leading the fight in defying the repression of the state. Are you guys ready to march? Yeah. All right, let's go.
It's 2 for 1 Jack, splat, just like that. Bringing you tons of information, that's where he's at. He goes around town covering topics you'd like to know. Well, that's what you get when you tune in to the 2 for 1 Jack Show.
Built all of these buildings off the backs of black and brown people who they pulled over and they fined, and they're still doing it today. When this funky ass courthouse opens back up, you can go in there any day of the week and see the majority of black and brown people standing in line to pay these fucking tickets. I remember 15 years man who lived up the street on Tower Road that told the police here, man, when we had a community meeting that he got stopped damn near every night coming home from work from the airport and stopped by the police, harassed. Why? Because he was black. And now we putting a stop to that, man, because this is the biggest movement that Aurora has seen, Denver has seen, goddamn it, the whole United States is represented. And they so scared Trump he done put a special Gestapo force together to go round up protesters and people who don't agree with their bullshit. They're like Gestapos. They don't wear any name tags. They jumping out of rented vans and just snatching people off the street like they did in 1931 in Germany. Ain't that a bitch? And then these motherfuckers got the nerve to complain when we call them fascists. They are 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 fascists. And we're not gonna take this bullshit no more. Thank you, Father.
All right, next we got Terrence with the Frontline Party for Revolutionary Action.
fall. Brick by brick, wall by wall, this racist system has to fall. Brick by brick, wall by wall, this racist system has to fall. If they don't get no peace, if they don't get no peace,
No justice!
if they don't get no peace,
If we don't get no justice!
if they don't get no peace,
If we don't get no justice!
if they don't get no peace, they don't get no peace. Elijah McClain! Elijah McClain! Elijah McClain! Elijah McClain! Elijah McClain! Elijah McClain! Elijah McClain!
up with the people. Down, down, down with the police. Up with the people. Down, down, down with the police. Up with the people. Down, down, down with the police. Up with the people. Down, down, down with the police. Up with the people. Up with the people. Down, down, down with the police. Up with the people. Down, down, down with the police. Up with the people. Up with the people. Down, down with the police. Down, down, down with the police. Up with the people. Up with the people.
Down, down, down with the police.
Down, down, down with the police.
Up with the people.
Up with the people.
Down, down, down with the police.
Down, down, down with the police.
Up with the people.
Up with the people. Up with the people. Down, down, down with the police. Up with the people. Down, down, down with the police. Up with the people. Down, down, down with the police.
It's 2 for 1 Jack, splat, just like that. Bringing you tons of information, that's where he's at. He goes around town covering topics you'd like to know. Well, that's what you get when you tune in to the 2 for 1 Jack Show.